Did you know that over 55% of homeowners said they couldn't afford the very home that they live in based on today's current prices? Hi YouTube, I'm Kareem Howard, a licensed realtor at Gerlach Homes. I like to make these videos to help both new and seasoned buyers and sellers navigate the Denver real estate market. So if you are looking to buy or sell anywhere in Denver, feel free to contact me. I will put all of that down in the description and you can reach out in whichever way you see fit. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the market update for May of 2024. Based on a study by Cato Institute, 87% of Americans worry about the cost of housing, and 69% worry that their kids and their grandkids cannot afford to buy a home. Think about this. Here in Denver, the average median sale price was up 8.2% year over year. So in terms of a $500,000 house, 8.2% is about $41,000. Now, what's even crazier about all of this is we had a great year in terms of home values in Denver, Colorado. If you own a home in Denver, you were happy over these last few years, right? But all of this happened while interest rates are at historic highs. We are seeing interest rates go above 6, above 7%, and home values were still continuing to rise. Speaking of interest rates, we are down from last month, which is at about 7.09%. Now, while we are on the topic of interest rates, how good are we looking in terms of rate cuts for the rest of this year? To put it simply, not good. A quick little recap is we were expected 3/4 point cuts by the end of 2024, which is why so many buyers are sitting on the fence because they want to wait for rates to dip below a certain level before they're ready to buy. Now, the problem is we are almost halfway through 2024 and rates have not budged, and people are getting less and less and less certain about if these rates are actually going to be cut this year. Some economists see the Fed waiting until at least September before we see the very first rate cut. Now, some Bank of America economists say there's a real risk that the Fed won't cut rates until March of 2025. Home prices continue to increase. Interest rates are staying steady. When is the perfect time to buy? Is what I assume all of you watching are thinking. Just like the stock market, you cannot time the real estate market. The best time to buy, especially in Denver, Colorado, is when you can afford to get into the real estate market. Time and time again, just getting into anything in the Denver real estate market has shown that it is going to appreciate and appreciate and appreciate, and you will be making a lot of money on your investment. And then if you want to get into a bigger, better house, you can sell that later down the line and use some of the equity from that initial investment in order to upgrade. Personally, I think getting into the Denver real estate market right now as soon as possible is the most important thing. Rates will not stay this high forever, and if you can stomach that initial payment for a few months, maybe even a year, then I think you should, because you can always refinance. Or something that I will time and time again advocate for is new build homes. If you do follow the channel, you've already started to see an increase in new build home tours. Richmond Home, Oakwood Home, KB Home, Tri-Point Homes. I'm putting so many different builders on my YouTube channel because I think they are a great way to save money in the long run. The reason new builds are super competitive with other homes on the market is, one, we already have low inventory, and with builders cranking out more and more builds, they're increasing the amount of inventory out there. And two, lenders just can't compete with these new build rates. Earlier in this video, I said that rates are at about 7.09%, but I've seen some builders offering mid-5s, low 5%, maybe even 4% interest rates on those new build products, and that's just not something you can replicate right now. If you want to learn any more information about new builds and whether or not it's right for you, then feel free to contact me. All of my contact info is down in the description. Now, my honest and sound advice for most sellers in May of 2024 is, if you do not have to sell, just don't sell. No matter what, you're always going to see people selling their homes. Low interest rates, high interest rate, it doesn't matter. And the reason is because the people selling their homes right now, they have to. They're either relocating to a different city, a different state, they're moving school districts, anything like that. They have to move homes, so they're going to sell their house. Now, if you're not in a situation like this and you are willing to just stay in your house for a few extra months, a few extra years, then continue to do so. Build some equity and stay in that sweet, sweet Denver real estate market. Now, the good news is, if you do have to sell, if you do have to move jobs, school districts, anything like that, we are still in low inventory. There's not a lot of sellers selling their homes, and so it is still a good time to sell your house, get a good amount of money, because these buyers don't have many options out there. Now, before we end the video, let's go over some of the market stats. The median close price for Denver homes is up 1.27%. We are just over 600,000 at 602. We have an increase in both active listings and new listings, both up about 20%. Pending sales is also up 8.32%, and our months of inventory is up at about 12%. What does all of this mean? So a lot of buyers over these past few months have not had a lot of inventory to look at. And it's good to note that with this increase in new listings, active listings, and months of inventory, a lot of sellers are actually looking to start selling their homes. So we're seeing more houses hit the market. We're getting a lot more options. And this is really, really good for the real estate market. Well, that is going to conclude the market update for May of 2024. Now, if you are living in Denver, Colorado, and you're thinking about either buying or selling at any point in the next year or two, then feel free to give me a call. I will put all of my contact information down in the description. As always, I'm Kareem Howard with Girl Luck Homes, and I will see you guys in the next video.